Assalamu alaikum and good evening, everyone. Welcome to the 14 live webinar on study abroad. I'm your host, Mr. T, coming at you live from Kuala Lumpur. I hope you are doing well because today's session is going to be super exciting. We are talking all about study and life in Japan. And I can already tell you it is going to be a fun and informative ride. So whether you are planning to study in Japan or you are just curious about what's life like there, you are in the right place. We have got two amazing guests who are currently living and study about dream in Japan, and they are here to spill all the tea on their experiences. First up, we have Clara, all the way from Spain, who is currently studying at the prestigious Waseda University in Tokyo. Clara is pursuing her bachelor in computer science and engineering, and she is here to talk about her experience as a self-financed student navigating life in Japan. Next, we have got Muhammad Fahad Said from Bangladesh, a proud recipient of the MEXT scholarship at Tokyo University Agriculture and Technology. Fahad is diving deep into the uh, mechatronics engineering, and he will be sharing how he secured the MEXT scholarship and what's life is really like as a scholarship student in Japan. So begin, I will start from Clara. So why Japan? So Clara, you are studying at Waseda University,
Yes,
uh,
correct.
which is one of Japan's most prestigious institution. What made you choose Japan over other countries? Was there a specific moment when you thought that this is the Japan, this is the right place for you?
Well, I'd like to clarify. First of all, Japan this year Waseda University has been considered this year the best private university in all of Japan, and they offer multiple degrees in English. So I would encourage everyone to apply. And I've always wanted to come to Japan ever since I was small. Really, always had a lot of interest for the culture. I applied to come in high school, but I was rejected. And then I found out they had a computer science English degree, so I applied and I got in.
Oh, okay, nice. Now let's come to Fahad. Fahad, you are studying under MEXT scholarships, which is a dream of thousands of aspirants all over this, especially from the subcontinent, um,
Yeah.
which is a big deal. What made you choose Japan as your study destination, and how did you first find out about MEXT? Was Japan always on your radar, or did something specific draw you
Okay.
to it?
Yes, I have. Yeah. So, like my bachelor in the major in my bachelor was mechatronics engineering, which is robotics related to robotics studies and engineering stuff. And for the robotics, it's like inspired by the Japanese technology and all research work in robotics. So Japan is a very good place for that, for research work. And also there's another option I had, which was study in Europe, like German or other stuff, other countries. So, and MEXT is a Japanese government scholarship, and I have some personal reason to choose Japan, which is this is my actually third time in Japan, and I lived in Japan like 3.5 years during my father's PhD program, and my father was also a MEXT scholar, and he
Oh,
completed his PhD program from Shizuoka University. So that's how I am familiar with MEXT scholarship actually, and yeah, here I am in Japan studying masters.
okay, nice.
Yeah,
If I had like MEXT
yeah.
scholarships cover a lot, but there are hidden costs that students should be aware of. Does the scholarships cover everything, or do students need to be
Oh,
budget for extra expenses on the side? Because you know that the MEXT scholarships is divided into two separate track, right? The embassy
yeah.
track and the university track. So now I think the currently university track is currently open, and a lot of students are rushing to apply on it. So what do you advise to them?
Yes, I actually selected for the MEX for university recommendation, which is actually you have to apply through professors. So right now is a very good time from this October, and the deadline for the application submission is first week of January. So I will suggest them to start emailing professors and prepare their profile, like prepare their CV, then prepare their transcripts, and very important thing is resource plan. Is a very important. Like if you cannot prepare your research plan correctly, it's very hard to select as a MEXT scholar here.
Okay. We'll come back to the both of the aspect of as getting admission at one of the top private university in Japan, and also from applying for the MEXT scholarship. So we will divide this into a separate pieces later in this session. And now, as we are talking about the finance, especially for the budgeting and all, Clara is actually doing their bachelor in self-finance. So Clara, managing finance as a self-finance student can be challenging. And how did you manage
Definitely.
the cost of studying in Japan? Was it as a top decision, or do you feel confident about managing your expenses from the start?
Well, at the start, I was very stressed because I came and I didn't have a scholarship or a job. But my first semester, I studied very, very, very hard, and I managed to get the half tuition waiver scholarship from Waseda University, which is one of the most prestigious scholarships they have. So currently, right now, I don't have to worry about paying tuition. And then around April, I applied for jobs, which is difficult, especially because I don't speak that much Japanese. But I managed to get a job as a waitress at a more like a foreigner kind of restaurant that accepted if you didn't have that much Japanese. And with that money I got from my job, I was able to now pay my rent, pay my food, and pay everything. But it's definitely kind of stressful sometimes. You have to budget a lot, think ahead. You can't just be recklessly spending, go out whenever you want. You have to be smart about it. But it's definitely something I'm very proud of when I tell people I'm self-financed, because not a lot of people do that, especially at 19. So I encourage you to try to do the same, honestly.
Yeah. So let's dive, like a lot of students, there are a lot of the questions asking about how they can enroll to start their study from Japan. So Clara, for anyone who are about to graduate or trying to, or they already cleared their intermediate and wanted to enroll in the undergraduate or graduate study, so can you walk us through the process? What advice would you give to someone who's starting from the scratch, like they are just thinking about to study in Japan? So what are the steps they need to take?
Well, first of all, I would think if you have to, the degree you want is in English or in Japanese, because the thing about Japan is that most degrees are in Japanese. So unless you're a confident speaker, your options are going to be already more limited. But there certainly are, there certainly are options because I'm here studying. But I would first of all tell you to look on the website, the Waseda website, and look at English-based undergraduate degree programs or graduate, whichever one you want. And from there, there's a special selection of majors. I would advise you to choose which one you want. And on the website, there's specific guidelines that you need to follow, like a recommendation letter, an essay or a recommendation letter, someone writes it for you, application transcripts, your grades, things like that. Have that all sorted out before the application period opens. So when it opens, you're calm, you're relaxed, and you know how to do things well, which maximizes your chance of getting into these universities.
Okay. So just be while following on this, as you mentioned about the students who wanted to be enrolled in the undergrad university, first they need to choose like either which language they need to study in, either Japanese or English. So for the student who don't know anything about Japanese language, so either for the start of the semester they need to teach them, or what
Not
are the steps?
necessarily. I came to Japan and I didn't really know any Japanese aside from the Japanese I learned from anime. I would recommend you to beforehand study a little bit of the writing because, as you guys may know, Japanese uses 3 different alphabets and they're not Latin characters like we use in English. So I would recommend you, it's not obligatory, but I would recommend you study that because it would make your life easier. But Japanese itself is not necessary if you're applying to an English based degree. So don't stress about that. Many people ask me about it, and you really don't have to because the degree is in English, and then you can sign up for Japanese classes or find a tutor or something like that. So Japanese shouldn't be something that stops you from applying.
Okay. So for the student who wanted to choose Japanese as an English program, right? So they need IELTS or English proficiency or their intermediate as an English, so they can accept their English proficiency certificate for it.
It depends on the syllabus you have done. For example, I mean, obviously you need to be fluent in English if you're going to study the degree in English. But I, for example, I don't know if you guys know, I did A levels, which is a British syllabus system. So I was exempt from any English test because the A levels are already hard enough and they're all in English. But depending on your syllabus, you will require IELTS or TOEFL. You need to check the syllabus specifically the guidelines specifically to see what you need for your syllabus.
Okay. So let's just come back to Fahad. Fahad, for the MEXT scholarships application process is pretty extensive when it's come to the embassy track. So you have the experience of the university track or the embassy track. Would you like to clarify both of the separation for the students who are just thinking about or confused about the difference between the MEXT university and embassy track?
Mhm. So,
Yeah.
sorry, you want to know about the
Uh,
difference between the process?
yeah, the two process. You gone
Yeah.
by MEXT. You
The
choose
university recommendation
the university
track.
track. Okay.
Yeah.
So would you like to clarify this, like step by step, the students who was, because it's already
Yeah.
open the application process for the MEXT, right, to enroll in.
Yeah.
So it's not for a
Mhm.
bachelor, but for master in PhD or as either enroll the postdoc or not.
So,
Could you
yeah.
please clarify, like, what are the first step the students who don't know anything, they need to
Mhm.
start from the scratch. So how you can
Okay.
guide
So, like, if I talk about the university recommendation first, which is actually the application period is from this October to January. The first is you have to convince your professor. So you have to make a short list, your professor list. And the first is you have to find out which field want to study or you want to research. And the research plan, making a research plan is very important for you. So when you try to approach your professor, first you have to find out which laboratory you want to apply for, right? Because otherwise you cannot apply to his laboratory. So the matching with your professor's field and your background should be the same. Otherwise you cannot select it for the university recommendation track. So for that, you have to prepare some documents like your transcripts, research plan, your grades, and also the CV, academic CV is very important. And for the university recommendation, you have to attend an interview with your professor, which will be online. It is very important. Otherwise, your professor cannot know about you, right? So then the professors, if your professor is convinced, then he will guide you by submitting application forms and other necessary documents. And the deadline will be the first week of January. And this is the university track. And the embassy track is a little bit different. It will be like there's some examination like science exams, some language tests, maybe Japanese test, and it will be at the, of course, the embassy. And for the embassy track, you have to choose three Japanese university to your embassy, and the all documents should be submitted to the embassy also. And the embassy will send the documents to the Japan embassy, and then they will monitor your all documents and make a shortlist from that, and then you will get the results. So yeah, it's like it will take more than 5 or 6 months to get the result.
it?
So the result is usually end of June or July every
Sure,
year.
sure.
Yeah,
You just clarify from the, like, first you need to approach the professor. This is the first step.
yeah,
And for
yeah.
this, you mentioned that might be there is laboratory for the specific professor they work in. You need to approach
Mhm.
them. You first need to decide which laboratory you wanted to work in.
Yeah.
So for this, they need to go to the university website and look for that, or either they need to look for the professor first and check
No,
either which
I would
what
suggest look for the laboratory first, check their websites, look forward their research work, their publication. Then you will understand what kind of research work is doing in the laboratory, such type of laboratory. Then, if you are interested in that laboratory, then go for uh, contact with the supervisor of that
sure.
laboratory.
Sure. Thank you so much. When it's come to the approach, when they approach the professor and professor agree with them. So most of the students, they just I got a lot of messages from them. They mentioned that professor
Mhm.
were asking about the entry test or the graduate entry
Okay.
test or
Yeah.
something like it. This type of test.
Yeah.
What type of test is this, and how can
Uh-huh.
students prepare for that?
Okay. It's actually vary from university to university. Like if you say like top university in Japan, like U Tokyo or Naga University, they actually you have to attend written exam, which is actually the entrance exam. Like for me, from QAT, I have to attend an entrance exam also, but it was oral examination. So I have to attend an oral exam and do a presentation related to my research plan. So this was my entrance exam. So it depends on the universities mainly.
So how can students prepare for it? Is there any, like, they first need to look for any sample paper or the previous exams, or what type of test is actually this, or
Like
it's relevant
for
to the
me,
field?
it was totally based on my research plan. So
Mhm.
all the professors in my examination, they asked me about my research plan and my past background research work and etc. And my extracurricular activities and my future plan in Japan, what I will do, like joining in a company or do as a researcher in any Japanese university, such like question I get. And for the, if I talk about the written exam, actually, there's some sample questions. Maybe you need to talk with your laboratory members and professor. They will help you to for the preparation. And I would like to say another thing. For as a MEXT scholar, I had 6 months as a research student uh, before enrolling to my master's program. So I was here from October. From October to March, I was a research student. So this period is actually preparation time for your entrance exam and learning Japanese. I think it's a very good opportunity to prepare yourself for your entrance examination, because I had my entrance exam in March and my master starts from this April. So
Okay.
yeah,
So when it's come to the difficulty level, is it nearby the GRE level of exam, or it's like a bit easy?
like I talked with one of my junior. He recently joined as a master student in Gifu University. So he will have a written exam maybe next month or end of this December. And he said that he need to study in some specific field. Like his field was related to fluid dynamics, which is part of mechanical engineering. So he need to study related to fluid dynamics for his entrance exam. It's not like you have to study broad syllabus, some
Uh,
specific topics. Yeah.
okay. Okay, okay.
Mhm.
So let's come back to Clara. Clara, a lot of students, when they were just preparing for the application for the university to get the admissions, so a lot of students make mistakes when applying to universities. What are some of the most common mistakes you see, and how can student avoid them as you experience so far?
So university applications, I think every student can agree on, is a very stressful period because you're doing your final exams and you also have to balance that along with applying to as many colleges as you want, because you want to receive acceptance from as many as you can, especially your dream ones. So if I could change back and do some things differently, I would first of all really look at the universities you want to apply to, and don't just apply like for the sake of applying. Really zone in and focus on, okay, I want to apply to this university in Japan, I want to apply to this university in Korea, I want to apply to this university in the US, and really excel at those applications. So instead of doing many and having a more average application, do less and be more specific. Another thing that I would say is a mistake is people normally they send me messages and they ask me, oh, do I need extracurriculars? Do I need this? Do I need that? And change completely like their schedule in order to have things that fit into the application. Oh, I volunteered this place. I play 3 different sports. Is that if I personally was an admissions officer, I would be thrown back by that because I want someone that is unique, like focuses on one thing and does things properly, not just does things for the sake of putting them on their CV. So if you play a sport, play it really well, try to go to competitions, try to win some trophies. If you, I don't know, for example, love programming, then why don't you join like a hackathon or a math olympiad or something? Do things specifically in order to attain the result that you want, rather than just throwing like
Hmm.
darts where they're not supposed to be thrown at, is what I would say.
Okay. Instead of generic, you need to be more specific and express your motivation why you wanted to join there. As you mentioned
Exactly.
that for
Oh, one
for
second.
the under, yeah.
One thing I would say is that for their essays, your essay shouldn't be an essay that you can just copy and paste and apply to different universities. Many people do that, and it's a mistake because, for example, many people, oh, I want to apply to Waseda University and KO, so I'll write the same essay and then I'll just change out Waseda for KO. That's a very big mistake because you want to show that you want to apply to that specific university. If not, they're going to be like, okay, this person is just making a general essay and they don't really have that much motivation to join. So that's why I say apply to less universities, but make it really express what you can offer to them and what they can offer to you in turn too.
Exactly. So the students who just cleared their intermediate or the college level, they just wanted to be enrolled in the university. So at that level, for the bachelor students, they have a lot of steps. Like even though they have some research projects at the final year or other activities, all student who just wanted to be enrolled in the undergrad, they don't have like a lot of steps in the CV. They don't have that experience because they are new to the field. So what are the key application or the key document you need to suggest or you wanted to suggest to the students they need to more focus on? And secondly, it's the era of AI, and we all know that for the age of we just go to the GPT and say like, okay, write the motivation letter for this university, write this. So both of you had experience in Japan. So how the Japanese professor or the people looking to using AI in all of the academic documents, even in the research and all the stuff, how have you experienced so far, right?
Wait, what was the first question you asked me again?
The first question: what are the key documents you wanted to the students who wanted to be enrolled in undergrad? They need to be more focused on.
So first of all, know that not like you're all the same age and nobody has an extensive CV by the age of 18. So just play to your strengths. Like I said, if you have gone to a few science competitions or really like volunteering or do that, play to your strengths. And honestly, there's no really like secret key to getting into university. You have to be a good match for them, and they have to be a good fit for you. So maybe they don't pick you because you're not a good match for them, or they're not a good match for you in the sense that there's something else better waiting for you. And for AI, I would say it's very easy to know when something is written by ChatGPT. Like it is like even if you change the format or you paraphrase or you put it through humanizer, because I know that we all know about that. It's like it's easy to tell. And honestly, why are you even applying to university? This might sound harsh, but if you're applying, why are you applying to university but having ChatGPT write your essay? Then is it you really like? Do you really want to go to university in that sense? It has to be. Your essay has to be a motivational lecture, has to be a reflection of you. And ChatGPT doesn't know who you are. You know all the experiences you've had in the past years of your life. You know what you really want and desire, and ChatGPT doesn't know that. So it's just going to end up in a generic essay, which is kind of bland. It might have a fancy word because we all know ChatGPT has fancy words and really nice grammar, but it's not a reflection of who you are. So I think it's not only doing a disfavor to the university itself, it's doing a disfavor to yourself and also to other students who are applying who really want to get in, and they might not use ChatGPT, and maybe they've had less opportunities of having the best English class, so they might not get in. So also you might be stealing someone else's spot just simply because you use generative AI, because it is not ethical, it is not morally good. I completely advise against it.
Okay, if I had what's your view on this? Like, have you experienced so far in Japan, like using AI for the academic work all of the way? How they see the professor, the community actually?
Okay, well,
Oh, sorry. No, go ahead.
yeah, okay, thank you. There's some bad use and good use. The purpose is the main thing, right? So like ChatGPT nowadays in my like research work, in my academic work or labs, yeah, we all actually use AI for saving our times, right? But we need to focus on our own knowledge, right? To complete any documents or for study purpose and anything. So if you use like AI, you have to recheck. You cannot fully depend on it, right? So there is no value actually at all. But I think if you suppose you're trying to calculate any mathematical stuff or computational stuff, right, for programming or other thing, and if you have like some problem and you cannot solve it within like 50 minutes, 1 hour, and still you cannot find out the solution, then what you do, like searching on the internet or other area. But sometimes, like if you just ask ChatGPT that, hey, I am facing this type of situation, I use this, I cannot find out the problem, what should I do? It will show you the process that you can follow this algorithm, you can go there. But yeah, that's a very good thing that you can study a lot of algorithms and other processes. So I think it's a pretty good thing for the research
Is
work.
it okay? Like how to how extent you are using the AI? You don't need to be rely completely on it, but you just need to be navigate the path from like what should you need to do. Okay, so
Yeah.
overall, like for the research, they all are using, but when you use ask from the GPT to write the motivation letter, they are using the common phrases all the way. Like, I'm writing to
Yeah.
express my interest in this. I'm writing. So even they're using the hyphen, the most hyphen, and students just copy and paste it and then
Copy and
send it.
paste it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no
Um,
proof.
yeah, exactly. Now let's come to the culture adjustment, because Japan is like something like a dream place for many, and some people are not aware about like how people can live there. So starting from Clara, coming from Spain, how did you adjust your life in Japan? Was there anything about Japanese culture that surprised you or stood out in a big way?
Well, first of all, I've lived for 11 years of my life in 3 different African countries, so I've always been surrounded by an international atmosphere, which is one of the reasons I wanted to study abroad. So it wasn't that big of a shock seeing so many different people. But either ways, it is still of a shock because Japan is very different from any other countries I've been to, especially Spain. So one of the main things I would say is the English. I thought that many people would speak English, at least in Tokyo, because it's a very, popular city for tourism, for business, for fashion, and not many people speak it actually, unless you're like an academic atmosphere, like in university or in your dorms or things like that. So be ready. Don't expect people to know English. It's kind of also your job to learn Japanese. So good luck with that, I would say.
Exactly. So let's draw the same from Behat. Coming from Bangladesh, you know that
Yeah.
I'm sure the culture shift was significant. What was the hardest part about adjusting life in Japan, and how did you manage, especially the language, when you came from Bangladesh to Japan?
Yeah. Like I actually totally agree with her. Like living in Tokyo, there no one can expect like listening English language here, and the main problem is the language barrier in Japan. As you know, I was live in Japan before, so the culture shock is not for me actually. But if you learn Japanese at least coming to Japan, if you learn at least in 4 or in 5 level for the basic level of Japanese language proficiency, it will be easier for living in Japan, right? And to learn Japanese during your research work, your bachelor, master's, or PhD is very difficult because you have to focus on your research work or study, right? So it's very difficult for you to study by your own. But I think the best way to learn Japanese is travel around in
Mhm.
Japan and meet, like, talk with local people, how they communicate with each other, how they like, yeah, that's the best way to learn Japanese actually.
Okay. Okay. So you both living in a different city. So Flora, like you're living in a city, how did you manage your finances as a self-finance student? Initially, when students came from international country, they spend a lot at the first 3 months. They don't even realize that I'm spending a lot. After 3, 4 months, they realize, oh, okay, I'm spending this. I need to limit my budget. So, any hacks or tips you wanted to suggest to the students what they need to do, like if they arrive to Japan in the first 2, 3 months?
Yeah, so first of all, being a self-financed student, you're already aware as soon as you land, even before you land, as soon as you buy the plane tickets, you're already aware of the cost to live here. So you're much less reckless with your spending. So at the beginning, it's normal to have many upfront costs. Perhaps you have the airplane tickets, a deposit for your dorm, you need to buy furniture, you need to stock your fridge and things like that. But one of the not really tips that I would say is really only spend on what you need to spend. So I only spend money on food, my health insurance, my phone contract so that I have data, and my transport, and that's really basically it. And not even that much on transport because I own a bicycle. Because if you want to come to Japan, you should know that transport is actually quite expensive in my opinion. Coming from Spain, where you could move around all of Madrid, which is the capital, for relatively very little money. Japan was a shock, so I bought a bicycle instead for an investment, so that over some months I would get it back and I would not be spending any money on transport. So budget like that, write down where your costs are and calculate monthly expenses. Prepare in advance, be like, okay, am I able to pay this? Do I have enough savings for this? How many months can I live off my savings before I have to get a job? How much would a scholarship help me? Things like that. You need to plan in advance and not just like at the beginning, at least, not just pay things recklessly without looking at the price or anything. You need to really take it all into account because at the end of the day, little things end up adding up. And especially if you do not have a job yet, it is very easy to overspend, and you do not want that to happen because it is not a very good situation to put yourself in. So that's what I would say.
Okay, so let's discuss the other side, the other side of the coin. Pat, since mixed scholarships cover a lot of your expenses, how does that affect your budgeting? What financial advice would you give to the students coming from countries like Pakistan, Bangladesh, or even from the West?
So as you know, like the MEXT covers up the tuition fee is totally full funded scholarship in Japan, and the stipend is around the general stipend. If you search in Google, it's like 145,000 yen per month. And the best thing is the Japan government will provide you the travel fee from your home country to Japan, and after completing your master's program or PhD program, they will also provide you the returning airfare to your home country. And for that, I would say for the accommodation in Japan, it's pretty expensive. Like in Tokyo or Osaka or Kyoto, it's like if you rent a single room, like outside the campus, it's at least starts from 70 to 80,000 yen per month. For only a single room, its size is like 11 meters square. So it's pretty expensive. And if I talk about the other living costs like foods and other stuff, yeah, those are also expensive. But if you're like single person coming study for Japan, like master program or PhD program in Japan for your higher studies, is very flexible. And yeah, if you want to do a part-time job as a MEXT scholar, there's also possible that you have to apply for the permission at the immigration office. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. I think that's clear a lot of stuff. Now let's come to the expectation and reality. Starting again from the Clara. Clara, when you first decided to study in Japan, what were your expectation, and how does the reality of life in Japan compare to what you imagined at start? Is it something you experienced or surprised with?
I feel like nowadays many people romanticize Japan and glorify it, and everybody's dream, absolutely everybody's dream, is go to Japan. And I used to feel the same way, and I kind of still do because Japan is a dream of a place to study in. But one of the most things as I already said before, was the English. It really shocked me. I expected many more people to speak English, but that was not the case. And aside from that, I've had both pleasant and unpleasant expectations. I feel like it all balances out. Tokyo itself is one of the safest cities in the world. So that was one of my expectations, and it proved that. You will see people walking on the streets at night. I rarely see any like thefts occur in the street or fights or things like that. It is very calm because people are actually very polite and shy and reserved. And I also expected that, but at the same time didn't expect it to this extent. Like if you live here, you probably already know that, for example, in public transport, you are not allowed to speak on the train, for example. It's not that you're not allowed, but it's considered rude and disrespectful. So that's something that I didn't expect, but I got, and I'm not too, how would I say, it's a good thing to have. And aside from that, the food. I didn't expect it to be that delicious.
Okay, that's good. Let's get back to Pat. Pat, when you applied for the MEXT and decided to study in Japan, what were your expectation, and has your experience matched yourself? Or there any something hidden that the student don't know about the MEXT? They're expecting more, and there is something hidden, which is the other side of the coin.
About the MEXT scholarship? Can you
About the
clarify the
MEXT,
question?
like you're expecting like some stuffs which is not even included, or you are expecting something like which come upside down, or all things are good so far.
Yeah, till now it's good actually. Yeah.
You think a lot because it means it's everything is doing good so far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So now we need to take some questions from the chat. A lot of questions came in the chat. Wanted to take some of the questions. Okay. So the first questions might be it's giving to Mohammed Suhail, respected madam. I'm pleased to share that I have received an acceptance letter from a professor at Waseda University, Japan. Could you kindly explain the admission process and the next step I should follow? I mean, the acceptance letter from professor. That's what he's talking about.
Well, I assume by your acceptance letter from the professor that you're from the graduate program, which I'm not too, I don't know too much about. But I think the main things I need to do is, first of all, get your visa sorted out, whether the university applies for you or you have to apply for yourself. Check your classes, apply for your classes, get into any groups like Instagram groups, Discord groups, Reddit groups, where from the same people in your faculty and your university. Look at housing, where you're going to live, your dorms, and I think that's pretty much it. They will probably send you an email with all the things you need to do to register to come and live in Japan. But aside from what I just said, I think that's about it.
Okay, so following on the same questions, he also mentioned this. I would like to confirm whether the online application process, including scanning and uploading document, will begin October 10. Could you please also clarify?
Again, I think you're talking about for graduate programs, but for undergraduate, you need your proof of applicant eligibility, and this is honestly more generic. I think for all programs, your academic transcripts, or your grading scales, your English tests if you required, your essay, your passport, a picture, your residence card in Japan if you already live here, your proof of payment, because normally you need to apply a fee to get into these programs, and a recommendation letter.
Okay, so our next questions, I think that's for the Fahad. How can we find computer science professor? Fahad.
Okay, yeah, thank you. So yeah, like as I said before, like you have to find the laboratory first. So you have to search university and then find the laboratory websites, and then you need to find out their research work related to your computer science. And also you have to fix your research plan, what you want to do in Japan for your research work, and then you need to find out the professor's background. I think that's how you can find your computer science professors. And I have one suggestion. There's one university called University of Aizu. Maybe you can search there. It's totally computer-based university, and around 75 to 80% faculty members are foreign teacher. So it's totally English-based university. University of Aizu.
I got an acceptance letter from that university as well, I'd like to say.
Yeah, it's a great university.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
following on the same questions, that's from Norris Khan. How much CGPA weighted at less than 2.7 then S0 any chance means for master or PhD?
For me? Okay. Like, if I talk about the MEXT requirement, for the MEXT requirement is calculated with a 3 GPA. So you have to have like 2.3 out of 3 GPA to get the MEXT scholarship. But yeah, but for the MEXT, I think CGPA is a very important thing, and also the publication and your extracurricular activities. Yes, I think you can focus on your research work, and yeah.
I think for the MEXT, they mentioned for the MEXT university track, they require 3.1 CGPA, like the minimum. Last time they mentioned 3.5 or something, but this time I read somewhere, I'm not sure is it authentic or not, but they require like minimum 3.1 CGPA out of
like actually in the MEXT calculation, they calculate it into 3 GPA. So you have to have at least 2.3 out of 3. So in Japan, I think they don't calculate CGPA, they calculate in GPA within 3, not 4. So it's a little bit different, the calculation is.
Oh, okay. So that's a long question to it. This guy's like, I have a questions. If anybody received two acceptance letter from the same university and the same school department, someone told me that this is a disadvantageous for me. So is this not really not beneficial? Okay, they were asking about the CSC scholarship process, but okay, so they mentioned it last. They mentioned, I think, for the China scholarship, no, for the MEXT. So what are your experience in general? Like, if you approach two professor of the same department and say like, okay, the one say, okay, guy, professor, I'm interested in your research group, and at the same time you approach another professor of the same department and say, okay, I'm interested with yours. So is it not?
No, I think.
I think it's not the good way to approach. Like, you need to
Yeah.
approach at least one, because might be
Yeah.
sometimes they discuss with each other, and it's like not a
Because
good
you
way.
have to find out to one professor at a time. Yeah.
Okay. So another questions I see from Abdul Majid. Can you shed some light on a PhD research opportunity in Japan, including the stipend amount and how to apply?
Okay.
That
So
did you read
as
the, you guys saw
sorry.
the messages, that the questions, like the comments? Okay.
Yeah.
They were asking about the PhD research opportunity. They say like, if you shed some lights on it, like.
Yeah,
I think that's
like
for you.
based on your, yeah.
No, I
Yeah.
think it's for you, the question.
Okay, like, yeah, based on, of course, your research work, based on your master's research in your country, and if I talk about the Stephen for the MEXT scholar as a PhD candidate, it's actually vary from prefecture to prefecture. Like in my university for the PhD candidate, the stipend is around 148,000 yen per month, and like if you go to Osaka, it's like maybe 125K, because it depends on the living cost from city to city. And yeah, how to apply? Yeah, the application process is similar actually. You have to find out your professor first. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So that's just be the questions. I think that's the compliment, not the questions. Mm, okay. So I got a lot of knowledge. So my question: we can find agriculture feed in Japanese. Okay. So again, there's a lot of the questions for Fahad and a lot of the questions about the MEXT. The next one: how we can find professor for PhD in bioinformatics? Would you recommend, Fahad, like student, they want to just go to the AI or GPT and ask them like, oh, can you list down all the university accepting uh, MEXT applicant, international applicant under MEXT scholarship, and they list down the university, and you told them, okay, this is the Tokyo University, and you told them, okay, based on this research interest, what are the professors they are working on this, and they just shortlist them. Do you think that this eligible work beneficial, or this not?
No. I think if you go for the university name, that is fine, but you have to search more by yourself the laboratories and the professor names. I think it's very important to search by yourself. I don't think you can ask to ChatGPT.
Okay, that's question for Clara. For undergraduate program, is there any Japanese language requirement or program English or Japanese? Or it's depend.
For Waseda, at least for the English programs, there's absolutely no requirement to know any Japanese at all. So that's something great because, like I said, I don't know any, like I know some Japanese now, but when I applied, I didn't know any Japanese. So for Waseda, at least, I think for other universities, English programs is probably the same. They probably don't have any requirements, so be sure to check the website. But for Waseda, at least, there is none.
There's not. What about the English proficiency certificate? As we already talked about earlier, but students need to accept. They also accept the IELTS, obviously, for the English. They required you the English proficiency certificate from you, Clara, or
no? Because since I did A levels, which is the British syllabus, I was exempt from it. Depending on certain syllables, depending on your syllabus, you can be exempt from it. So make sure to check the website because you can have a nice surprise and realize that you don't actually have to do any English exam because these English exams you have to study for them and sometimes they can be quite costly. So be sure to check.
Okay. So might be like the students who are not coming from the A level or from this other intermediate level, they need to do the IELTS. Like there is language requirement, and they need to just check on the Waseda University website, right?
To see if they require, because some syllabuses are exempt from it. So make sure to check.
Okay. So that's the question for Pahed. Is Japan master degree in civil engineering is 1 or 2 years? Or it's depends?
It's 2 years program.
That's
In Japan, the master's program is 2 years program. Yeah.
Okay. Let me just check for the. Okay. Okay. I think that's not there's a lot of the questions, but it's not relevant to the session. They were asking about there are any questions about that. If any students they have any questions, they can write in the comment. But before giving to what are guys you have experienced so far the Japan? Like if you guys rate out of 10 in terms of educations, in terms of living there, if you compare with other countries you live in. First, we'll start from Clara.
I'm currently a second year, and I would say it has been a pleasant. Do you want me to say about like talking about Japan, but also my personal experience, how I felt by it? Do you want me to talk about both?
Yeah, both sides. Like, I mean, like you also mentioned that you live in other countries too. So, what if you rate the Japanese? What are the difficult steps you face so far? Like the language barrier. What else?
The language barrier is definitely one thing. Another thing is that I personally am very close to my family, and I have 3 smaller sisters. So I was very homesick at the beginning, and it's very normal too, especially because you're just getting introduced to independent life, being by yourself, taking care of your own things. And this is not limited to just doing your own laundry or cooking, because those are like very basic things, and that's like the things that least, how would I say, were least inconvenient to me. It's more about learning to have your struggles by yourself, being completely by yourself. If you want to have an appointment to go to the doctors, not only is it in a completely different language, but you have to go by yourself, and you just genuinely have no idea to do it. But the good thing is that it will make you mature quite quickly, I would say, and not many people have the privilege to be able to study outside. So if you can, I would tell you to definitely go for it. And as for Japan itself, obviously there's ups and downs, but I think it's been quite a pleasant year. The university, I like it. It's nice. Obviously, you have a bit like you like some professors more and you like some professors less, but overall, it's a really good experience. Japan itself, the people are super kind. They're a bit more shy and reserved than what I'm normally used to, but that's so with each country comes its own culture, and you just have to learn to respect that. Food, as I said before, it's great and it's cheap depending from where you come from. So I think you will definitely enjoy that. And yeah, I think Japan is just, especially because I talked about this in a video I had made before, but Japan right now is on a serious boom. Like over the past 5 to 10 years, like tourism has absolutely like exploded. Like before, barely anyone knew or talked about Japan or visited, but now it's exploding. And people right now are focused on tourism, which is right now why you should take the chance and apply to study here, because in 5 years' time, I think that it will be very saturated to a point where acceptance percentages will be much lower. So your chance of getting in will be smaller simply because there are going to be so many more people, because Japan really is on the rise right now. So I would encourage the viewers that are watching this to apply now. Don't be scared. And just go for it, to be honest.
Okay. So now, Pat, you want to share something about what is your experience so far? Because you have been like for 3 years, right?
Yeah. So I want to talk about one thing, which is like as a Muslim. So the halal food, I want to talk about the halal food is very difficult to find here. Like, yeah, but I live in Tokyo. Thankfully, the halal food is, I can find it. Like I have halal food shops to buy like frozen foods and everywhere. Yeah, that's a very difficult thing for as a Muslim people in Japan. But yeah, I think the Japanese food is pretty good. Like if you talk about the sushi or other seafood stuffs, it's great. Yeah.
Great in trauma food, like food they got 10 out of 10. Yeah. Honestly,
Yeah,
to
yeah.
try that one.
If you like
Uh,
spicy food, Japanese spice is not spicy compared to other countries. So, for example, I have a friend from Myanmar. She says that Japanese spice is not spicy at all. Or I have a friend from India and another one from Bangladesh, actually, and they say that Japanese spice is not like
It's
spicy.
nothing.
It's not spicy at
Yeah,
all. But I
I agree.
personally, I come from Spain where food is not spicy. So for me, it's super mega spicy. So just know that. Just a fun fact.
Yeah.
mm. So spicy is not spicy. It depends.
Yeah.
The same as in and Kuala Lumpur, the same. There is a lot of like Indian food, the sub the others like the Chinese food and also the Malay food. So the Malaysian people, they love sweets, like each and everything. When you open, it's sweet. It's sweet. Like you need to look for the spice anywhere. You need to go to the subcontinent restaurants you can find over there. So that's a lot of one question from Clara. Students who are considering Japan is for self-finance student. How much, apart from the fee, how much they need to keep in pocket for the first time they need to come to Japan? Like there is, you can also do the part time, right? Because if you wanted to elaborate something like how can student do the part time, how much is allowed, and is it easy to manage with along with the study?
Yeah, definitely. So, as Fahad mentioned before, if you come on a student visa and I think on a student visa, yeah, you need to go to immigration to apply for a permission to work. It's not that hard to get it. Actually, as soon as you come into Japan, as you go to immigration in the airport, whether it be Narita or Haneda, they will ask you, "Do you want a part-time job?" And depending on what you say, they will stamp. Something on your residence card that allows you. And if anyone stamp it or they forget to ask you, or you just say no and then you change your mind, don't worry. You can go to any immigration bureau. If you're living in Tokyo, I would recommend the one in Tachikawa because they get it done on the day. Other ones, they like you have to wait for 3 months for the approval. But there, you just give them your documents, your passport, residence card, and they stamp it on the day, allowing you to work. The requirements are you can only work on school like days when university is open and there's classes going on. You can only work a maximum of 28 hours a week. And when it's like summer or it's winter and it's officially a holiday, you can work up to 40 hours a week, which is like a normal 9 to 5 from Monday to Friday. And I would say it's like you should definitely go for it because not only was working gonna help you get money and be able to pay for your own things, but I personally like the Japanese that I know is more from my work than from my baito, it's called in Japanese, than from my university classes. You get to meet with Japanese people, socialize, get to know them better, practice your own Japanese, have free meals. Depending, for example, if I work as a waitress and they give me free Japanese meals, so that's quite nice. And as for if it's difficult to balance, it honestly depends on how much you need and how much your expenses are. For example, if you're on a scholarship, that's a blessing, and you should really be happy and grateful for it because you might not even need to work. I don't think Fahad, do you work as a MEXT scholar?
No, not really, but I will enroll as a TA from next month. So it's like on campus part time. Yeah,
That's
Not the
very
hard
good.
work,
campus. Yeah.
not the hard work. The
Not
hard
the
job.
also
Okay.
not.
Okay. Okay. So for
And
undergrad, might be it's easy to manage like somehow because undergrad study is not that stressful. But when it's come to master and PhD, it's completely research based. So
The
might be it's
research
difficult
based.
to
Yes.
manage with part-time work along with the master or PhD.
yeah,
That's
wait,
one question. 60. Okay, Clara,
one
you
second.
can
So
just go.
depending if you have a scholarship or not, you should apply for jobs and like the hourly rate. I'm going to be talking in Japanese yen here because I don't know the currency of our you viewers. It is normally like 1,200 yen to 1,400 yen. So if you want to just like live like with what you need, you could be working like 20 hours, 16 hours a week, and that will be just for like you will not get any savings from that, but it's enough to cover what you need. And if you want to start having some savings, then 22 hours a week, 25, leaning on the upper side. And it depends on your classes. Like, for example, first year students are going to be very, very, very busy. But if you have semesters that are more relaxed and chill, and you have, for example, a Thursday, you have no class, well, then apply for a shift and work 8 hours there, and then work another 8 hours on Saturday and Sunday, and it will help you build some savings in your account.
Okay. For the first time, you know that when it's come to when the students come from the different countries and they need to adjust, they need to know the ways how to live, they need to adjust the stuff. So they need to how many months they need to keep the expenses with themselves when they first arrive in Japan? 3 months, 4 months, or how much you recommend?
If you're coming without knowing without a job, like without knowing whether or not you have a job, I would recommend. Luckily, I paid a deposit for my rent up until February, and tuition was already paid. So from September, which I arrived here, to February, I had no expenses other than my like what I ate and my health insurance and my transport. And I had worked my whole summer, my entire summer, to build up savings. So I would recommend, like, just to be comfortable, 6 to 7 months worth of savings, and then if like that's it's quite a long time, but it's honestly for you to have peace of mind, because it's really important to have peace of mind, especially as you're already moving to a new country and it's already a very stressful experience to land there and getting used to everything there. So 6 to 7, 8 months, as much as you can, really, it's the best. And then as soon as you arrive, start looking for scholarships, looking for jobs, apply. You can even tutor children English, math, like your own language, mother tongue, whatever you want, and just look for opportunities to get some income here and there until you have a stable job or a scholarship.
Okay, that's nice. You to Waseda University is in a different city, right? It's far from the Tokyo, right?
Like the location, you mean?
Yeah.
It's located in my campus is located in Nishi Shinjuku, so it's just like, I mean, Tokyo itself is really well connected. So even if you live on the outside, like in 40 minutes, you can get to like central Shibuya and Shinjuku. And from my university, my campus, it takes like 10-15 minutes or so by train to get to the like really city center. So it's really, really well connected.
Similar to the other countries, like there is still like the difference between the expenses. If you live in the major city like Tokyo, you need to spend more, especially on the accommodations. The food is similar in terms of price all over the Japan. It also depends, especially when it's come to accommodation. You know that in the Tokyo city, that's like super expensive if you compare to the well-sided or outside of the major cities. So what about the food? Is it the same, right?
I think, I mean, obviously, if you're in more rural areas, everything will be cheaper. But I think this is the same case in every single country. So if you live dead smack in the city center, your rent is going to be maybe even over 100,000 yen, which is very expensive. My dorm, I'm currently at Waseda International Student House. It holds over 800 international students, and I pay 55,000 yen for rent, which Mr. Fahad probably knows that is a very, very good deal, especially for Tokyo.
Like for me, when I was a research student, I lived in international house. It was around 40,000 or 35,000 yen per month. But recently, I shifted to the boys' dormitory of our university. It costs around 45,000 yen per month. So,
Wow.
but
that's so good. That's better than mine.
So yeah, if you I talked with one of my friend in Tokyo. It's like, if you range for a single room dormitory in Tokyo, is around 70,000. It's double. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I think we got one more questions. I think this I received one acceptance. Can you read it?
Scuba. Yeah, what would be the appropriate next step for me to pursue regarding my second activity visible to something?
Okay. Have you got right?
No, I'm confused.
Okay.
What actually
he was asking that I receive acceptance letter from supervisor of that university.
From University of Tsukuba,
indicate that university admission will commence in January. That they need to start taking. What should be the appropriate next step for me to pursue? So they got the acceptance, but not about the admission. She was confused, and she need to ask from you that either they will start the commence in the January. So what should I need to do right now?
I think you need to start communicating with your professor, and if you have any confusion regarding your admission process, your professor is like she will or he will help you a lot, and they will guide you through the admission process.
Generally, the admission office or the international office of the particular university is super helpful. When I always tell the students that you have any confusion, instead just write a detailed email to the international office and explain. They will guide you step by step. They just need to sit there
Yeah.
just to guide the students, right?
Yeah, they have support center. Yeah, student support center. Yes.
Again, the next question, I think we discussed a bit, but if you need to clarify.
Entry test exam for the MEXT scholarship. So actually, yes, it's based on university. Some university provides written entrance examination, and some university provide oral examination or presentation. I actually participate in the entrance exam for oral, which was the research plan presentation. So I had to present my research work, my background, my future plan in Japan, and also related to career. So how to prepare? Actually, I told that like during your research student period, like 6 months, you will have much time for your preparation for the entrance exam. And if the entrance exam is oral or the presentation type, so you need to focus on your research plan mainly. And if the entrance exam is like written examination, so I think you need to talk with your research, laboratory members or your professor that which syllabus you need to focus on. Is there any specific syllabus you need to study about the entrance exam? I think that's how you can prepare for the exam. Yeah.
Is there anything you guys wanted to share the journey, the students, especially to Clara, the students who just wanted to come to Japanese? Any advice or anything you wanted to share with them?
Any advice? People always want to get like, what is one thing that would save you? This is that. There's honestly not really one thing that could change your whole experience, but I would say come here being with an open mind. You know, you're gonna find, depending on where you come from. I mean, even if you just come from Southeast Asia or from China or from wherever you come from, or even from Europe, from the United States, you're going to see many people that are different from you, many habits that are different from you, many customs. So just be open minded, never judge people because they might come to your country and be like, oh, this is completely different. Be open to meet new people. Most of my friends actually are like they're all Asian. Actually, I don't think I have any friends from the West. But honestly, that's one of the reasons why I came to Japan, to be with other people that I've don't see in my didn't see in my day-to-day life in Spain. Just try your hardest and know that even in the tough moments when it gets hard, because here all we're talking about is like the logistics, like how to get acceptance, how to have a job, how to manage your budget. But there's a lot of an emotional tied to it, like personal struggling, because it's a really big change in your life. It's normal. Everybody goes through this. And if you're like struggling a lot, you can always text me on my Instagram, DM me, hey Clara, I need some help. What should I do with this? What should I do with that? And I'll always be open to helping you guys, and just make the most you can out of
I
it.
will share your social media handles if anyone from Clara, the one I will share later with on emails to the students and also on my social platform, even with the Fahad. Can I send your, if they need your LinkedIn or any other social media platform you guys want to share with? Clara is actually the content creator. So she had a YouTube channel. The you don't have the WhatsApp, the Instagram and the YouTube,
I
right?
have a YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok.
The TikTok, not the
All
YouTube.
under the name. No,
You have the
YouTube too.
YouTube too. What about you, Fer?
I recently started YouTube, like sharing Japan life, blogging in Japan. I
Sure,
shared videos in my YouTube channel. It's like not
sure.
that old. It's pretty new. And if anyone want to contact with me regarding these scholarship issues or something, please contact me through LinkedIn. Yeah.
Okay. And the rest, I will share. You guys can share me your social media channel so I can share all of my
Yeah. Thank you.
I do. So there. One questions, the last one. That's come to a lot of the students in mind. What after graduations or what after master or PhD? What either Japan is considering for the PR for the long term, you need to stay with there. What are the job opportunities after graduations if someone wanted to work in Japan? So, as you guys have any idea, I wanted to share.
You can go first.
It's a pretty difficult question, actually. yeah, if you like Japanese culture, if you know Japanese language pretty well, yes, of course, Japanese for you, of course. And yeah, like some people say, why not go to the United States or Europe country? Because of the language barrier, right? So after graduation from master's or PhD, the main problem, like for the international student, they face is the language barrier. Like most of the like company, like I really want to join Toyota, Nissan, or Honda in the automobile industry. And I checked their websites. They ask for at least N2 level Japanese language proficiency. So they actually prefer communication skill mainly in Japanese language. So yeah, so before coming to Japan, please focus on your language first. Yeah.
You need to learn. Like if you wanted to stay in Japan or you wanted to do work in Japan or for long term, you need to learn Japanese first, and then the
Yes.
job opportunity
Language.
will be there for you.
Yep. Of
Mm.
course.
Or if you have the chance to live in Japan for rest of your life, what did you do? You will
Um,
that's a bit difficult questions, but
I'm just a second year undergraduate student, so I'm not very sure, but I would like to get. I mean, Waseda University is quite prestigious, so I think my degree would be hold a very strong like point in my curriculum. I'd like to apply to I don't know companies like Google, Microsoft, things like that. Maybe even be a digital nomad, like going around and working from my computer in different places, maybe different places in Japan or wherever really the wind takes me.
yeah, hope so. Okay, thank you, everyone. I think that we already addressed a lot of the question. It has been in 1 hour and 6 minutes. It's a lot of times. Yeah. Before we wrap things up, I want to give you a big thank you to Clara and Pat for joining us today. Your stories has been inspiring, especially for me, and I'm sure everyone has learned a lot about what it's really like to study and live in Japan. We will also share your social media handles at the end so everyone can follow and stay updated on your journey, especially Bad is sharing the live and Clara is also. Um, any concluding remarks so we can wrap up then? Or I think that we do a lot of concluding remarks so many times.
On my YouTube, actually, I have many videos, not only about vlogs in Japan, but like practical videos. Like, I have a video showing everything you need about scholarships in Japan. Another video showing the essay actually that got me into Waseda University. So that would be very useful for some of you. Other video, how to get admission, like the guidelines, and everything you need, and things that really would have helped me a lot. So definitely go check that out. It's Clara eLife on YouTube, the name that's on the screen right now.
Sure. Yeah, exactly. I will share this too at the last. Also on our social media because I have a lot of all of them on WhatsApp, on Facebook, and everywhere. I will share in all of the platforms. So definitely they will look for, and a lot of students they will come up with a lot of questions to you. So might be sometime students are I think they are asking very basic questions. Even they can even search and Google and then the website, but they're asking
Yeah.
from the candidate like they need to answer. But I hope so. Things will be good so far. Thank you so much for joining for today live sessions.
Thank you.
And I hope
Thank
um,
you.
Fahad, thank you so much for you and Clara too. Hope so. We will do these sessions along with the time, with the passage of time. If there is any need, I will approach again to bother you to do the sessions again. Hopefully, thank you so
It's a
much for joining
pleasure.
us today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks to everyone who was watching.